Hello and welcome everyone to this new learning series video about Google Chrome and Chromebooks. I'm glad that you could join us today, and let's get started. I have a lot to share with you today, so let's get going. So here's our agenda for the day. I'm going to talk about bookmarking, tab control, some of my very favorite extension, and I'm going to show you some tricks on the Chromebook. So these are the 4 areas that we're going to focus on. I could tell you that we could spend like 3 or 4 hours on all of these agenda items here, but I picked some of the very best things that I think will help you and your students be more productive when they are using Google Chrome and their Chromebooks. So let's get started talking about bookmarking. Alright, so when we're going to go into bookmarking, I'm going to show you about how to drag and drop your bookmarks, how to make your bookmarks into icons. We'll talk about bookmark folders and talking about linking data when you're for your Google accounts. So the first thing that I want to make sure that I show you when I'm doing bookmarking, I always drag and drop my bookmarks because that way I make sure I put it exactly where I want it to be. So if I go to a website and I want to make this a bookmark, usually people just click the star. Now, if you have a lot of bookmarks, which I do, and I need to clean it up, but I haven't, so there it is. But you want to really remember what that bookmark is about. I always like to drag and drop the bookmark to the bookmarks bar. So we have the bookmarks bar right here, and we can have some of our already, you can see that I have some bookmarks already. I'm going to talk about how I made them look like this. But when I talk about dragging and dropping, I'm talking about going right here where the favicon is at, or this lock information is at. And I'm going to left click and drag, and then I can drop that bookmark anywhere I want to in the order that I want. Now when I drop it in, not only does it put the favicon in my bookmarks bar, but it also puts a name here. Now I don't know if you've been to some web pages and their names are really long, and that takes up a lot of real estate on your bookmarks bar. So what I like to do is to edit my bookmarks so they look just like icons. And you can see I have quite a few icons right here. How do you do that? Well, once you get the bookmark made, you can right click on it and choose Edit right here in this menu. And then in the name section, while it's all highlighted in blue, simply hit the backspace key on your keyboard and completely take out the name of it. Once you do that and press the Save button, you're just going to get the icon here on your bookmarks bar. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't remember what all those icons are. All you have to do is simply just let your cursor hover over that icon, and it tells you the name of the website. So if you're ever wondering what they're about, you can just hover over and get that information. If you don't want that bookmark in that place, you can always move it. So I like that, being able to move that around, and it'll still keep that shortened as in no name there, so you can move it around. I can also right click on it and delete it. Now when we're also talking about bookmarks, we want to also talk about folders for bookmarks. When I'm doing folders for bookmarks here, you can make a folder and then you can drag right into the folder. So that's also really neat. So when I'm on the bookmark itself, I can do that left click and drag and drop it right inside the folder. And I can do the same thing that I did before. I can shorten up the name and I can put that bookmark wherever I want to. Sometimes it's a lot easier being able to put those bookmarks where you want to so you can remember them. Otherwise they get way down at the bottom of a list and you're less likely to remember them or less likely to use them again. So those are some quick ideas about bookmarking. But when you're talking about bookmarking, I also want you to remember about linking your data. When you sign into Chrome and it presents you with options about linking your data, I always say choose yes, because when you make a change on your Chrome on one device and you have selected linked data, when you automatically open another device that you're signed in with that same Chrome account, all those changes are automatically made. I'm thinking like the case of if you have a couple different devices for work. Say you have a desktop computer like I'm working on, and you have a Chromebook or a laptop that you also take with you. Now I've made all my bookmarks exactly the way that I want them here, and I have passwords saved and other things all set up. Why wouldn't I want that same experience on another device? By choosing link data, you can do that. So when you're first setting up your account, when you're going up in the upper right hand corner and adding your accounts, you want to make sure that when you go through, it's going to ask you, how do you know if your sync is on? It shows you that the sync is on. So if I make a change here on my desktop and I go home and I open my Mac, all of my changes are exactly the way they are. Everything looks the same. And I think that's really, really important to do, to make sure that you're linking data. So let's talk about tab control. Few things that I use that really help me control my tabs. On startup is one of them. Now, not specifically on my personal account here, but on my institution account, I use an on startup set of tabs. And what that means is that I have set up a specific set of tabs that every time I go into my institution Chrome account, they're always going to open. Let me show you where that is at. So I'm just going to drag my institution Chrome over here so you can see that. And I'm going to go into the settings, which are those three dots, that more menu in the upper right hand corner, and choose settings. And then looking over on the left hand side, we have something called on startup. So you can choose what you'd like to have. You can choose to have open a new tab page, continue where you left off, or my favorite, open a specific set of pages. So when I launched this Chrome, okay, so this login of Chrome, these three sites open up every day for me. So instead of me going in and clicking on all these bookmarks or clicking a tab folder to open them all up, why not have Chrome just do it? So you can add more pages to this. I like to get it set the way I want to, and then you just click the button saying use current pages, and then Chrome remembers what pages you want, in what order you want them, and it opens up every day to the same thing. Fabulous, fabulous thing to do. Of course, because I have my sync turned on, okay, you can see my sync turned on, no matter what device I log into with my institution account, my tabs always open the same way on every single device. Awesome thing to have for your tabs. Pinning tabs. Now, I'm not one to have a whole lot of tabs open at the same time, but if I happen to get a lot of tabs open, I will choose to pin my tabs so that they don't get accidentally closed. So right now you can see I have these 5 tabs open across on the top. If I right click on a tab, I can choose the word pin. Now what that does is it kind of collapses the tab. You can still see the icon of the tab, and when you hover over the tab, it's going to give you the name of that as well. So if you are a little bit tab crazy, you might want to choose to pin your tabs so that they're not, you can just have them nice there and be able to add another one. Just remember, the more tabs you have open, a little bit harder to do, a little bit harder to manage with, okay? Now when you want to expand it also, you can choose to unpin it to make it bigger. Now the beauty of pinning is look what's not there. I can't just accidentally click on the X and close that. I literally have to right click and then choose to close that tab. So that makes it really nice that you're not going to accidentally close those tabs. And then you can just unpin them. You can move the order of your tabs as well. So if I want to move this around, I can move these around. There's also something called tab groups. I haven't experimented with that too much yet. Like I said, I'm not a whole big lots of tabs open at the same time user. So to me, having tab groups doesn't make a lot of sense because I just don't like having that many tabs open. But if you have a lot of tabs, kind of one of those tab hoarders, you might want to check out tab groups. I'm just going to open a bunch of tabs to have open here, just so that you can see something that I want to talk about next. Let me go to the Weather Channel there. All right, so I'm going to go back to this right here. And the next thing I want to talk about is closing to the right. Now this one usually just baffles people that they've never seen this before. if you have a lot of tabs open, let's go ahead and say that many tabs, all right? So I have this tab, this tab, this tab, and this tab. And I want to get rid of some of my tabs. I've seen people go instantly on each one, click, 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 click. But the better thing to do is to take your tabs, and I'm just going to move this one over here because I want to show you that it says close to right. If I right click on this tab, one of the options says close tabs to the right. Okay, I can see that in my drop down. How did I get to that again? I right click, close tabs to the right. When I do that, all those tabs instantly close at once. Amazing. Okay, it did not take any time at all. But, oh no, I want those tabs and I don't remember what tabs I were on and I don't want to have to try to click and go into my history. I have saved your day. How do you reopen those closed tabs? Control Shift T on your keyboard, and you keep doing it until all those tabs show right back up again and in the order that you had them. Let's review really quick. On a tab, right click, close tab to the right. Want to bring them back? Control plus Shift plus T on your keyboard, and then just keep hitting that keyboard combination until all your tabs come back to the way that you want it and the way that you had them. Super duper way of, sometimes if you get down the rabbit hole of doing a Google search, it clicks to this, to click to that, to click to this, to click to that, to click to this, to click to that, and you're like, oh, I have no idea how I got there. Control Shift T, reopen those closed tabs. All right. Send tab to mobile. This is kind of interesting. I'm going to go ahead and open up this tab, and then I'm going to click in the URL bar, and I get something presented to me that looks like this icon, and it says send to page. If you are signed in on your Google account on a desktop or laptop or Chromebook device, and you want to get to a link, maybe on your iPhone or your Android phone or another tablet or something, people have, you can do a Wakelet thing and keep track of your links there. I've seen a lot of people copy and paste it and email it to themselves and all this kind of stuff. No, 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 no. All you have to do is go onto your URL, and I've clicked in the bar, and this comes up, and I can click on that, and I can choose which device I want to send this to. So I have several devices that I've signed into. This is my iMac, this is my phone, this is my Chromebook. So if I were to choose this and I had Chrome open, it's automatically going to give a little notification on my iPhone that says open tab, and you can touch that and you're instantly on the page that you were on your desktop on your mobile. And yes, it works the opposite way. If you're on your phone, you can send it to your desktop. It all has to do with how you're signed into your Google account. That's how send to mobile works. Let's talk about some extensions. We're almost halfway through our time already. Now, I have quite a few of extensions that I use. And, extensions are very kind of a niche product. They do one thing, but they do them very well. These 5 extensions that I'm going to share with you right now are some of my favorite extensions that I like to share with people at any time. The first one I want to share with you is Web Paint. Reason number 1 I love Web Paint, it turns any device into like an interactive whiteboard by just having that extension. Now I'm in a Google slide, I'm in the web display view, and I have the Web Paint extension installed here. I simply click on this extension and a toolbar pops up, and I can annotate all over my Google slides. So I can choose my pencil, I can choose the color that I want my ink to be. Ooh, let's write in green today, of course, because it's St. Patrick's Day. You can choose your pen size here, so how big you want it, and you can choose your transparency level. So if you want something more of a highlighter, you can play with that as well. Now I can simply take my pen and I can write on my screen. So that makes it a super easy way to be able to annotate like on your Chromebook. So we have the pencil, we have the eyedropper. You can put text in, lines, arrows, curves. You can put some shapes in. This returns it back to the cursor so that you can actually click on things. This is your pencil so that you can write things. An eraser, of course, you can fill. There's some settings here. You can undo at levels. So let me just draw some more on here so that I have different things on here. Remember, I could undo, 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 and of course I can redo, 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 just like any other website. I can take a screenshot of my page here, and that's it. Automatically opens a new tab with the page and the annotations on it. So let's see what that looks like. And there it is. I can download it, I can print it, I could copy it to my clipboard and be able to put it someplace else, and I can even crop it. So it has my web page plus all my annotations right there. One of the cool things about this, and if you want to clear your screen all at once, you can actually just sweep it and it's all there. Now I'm going to exit out of those tools and I'm going to choose to go to my website here, and I'm going to open up those same tools. Now, I don't know if you just noticed what happened. I'm gonna exit again. I'm gonna bring this back. I was demonstrating this before and it actually remembers some things that I've drawn from before. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep the page clean, and I'm just gonna do some drawing here. By the way, it remembers that it's device specific. This will not sync to the cloud, just so you know that. I can draw some arrows. I could change my transparency level, so if I want it to be more like a highlighter, oops, that's a little bit too much transparent. What I love about Web Paint on a web page is that it's sticky. The ink actually stays right with the web content. And again, you can do that screenshot and you can clean it all and be able to exit out of your tools. Web Paint, awesome extension. Next extension I want to show you is Immersive Reader. Now this is a super duper extension for maybe some of your struggling learners in your classroom, but actually it's a great extension for every learner in your classroom. Once you install the extension, you won't even see it over here. I'm going to go to a page that I've loaded up on CNN Business, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight some text, and I'm going to right click on that highlighted text and to choose the option that says help me read this. When I do this, it's automatically going to go open into Microsoft's Immersive Reader experience. From this point, you can have it play back and read it to you.
It's unclear how many drivers were revoked access from the beta software. Tesla did not immediately respond.
Awesome, right? You can have your voice settings, have male or female. You can choose how fast or slow you want it read. But here's some more of the amazing options. I can click on the word and listen to it. And not only listen to it in English, but I can choose another language and be able to listen to it there. Also, you can have it, and it's going to have, let's see if I can choose one, the picture dictionary as well. So if you have some struggling readers, it will have, not every word of course, but it has the picture dictionary talking in there. Now, what are some other options that you can have? If you go into this, your text size, how awesome is that? Really help those readers. Increase your spacing, choose your font, be able to have it reversed if you like to have the dark mode. Another cool option is that you can show the syllables for your readers. Not only that, but your parts of speech. It will highlight them and you can actually label them if they want to as well. You can also have the line focus on here, so it will focus when you're reading, so you can only get a certain amount at the same time, so it helps your readers. I'm going to go ahead and turn these off because I want to show you the next option here. Whoop. So it said translate by word. I'm going to choose translate by document, and it takes a moment. And it puts it into the new language, and not only will it show it on the screen, but it plays
No
it
está
back.
claro cuántos controladores fueron revocados el acceso desde el software beta. Tesla no respondió de inmediato a unas.
What a powerful tool. You could combine this with a screen recording tool and be able to have this, but just be able to select the text and right click and get all these tools right in Immersive Reader on Chrome. Awesome. How do I get back to the original web page? Just exit and you're right back to the original web page. Immersive Reader, Fantastic, fantastic extension. Go full page. Hey, have you ever wanted to take a screenshot of a full web page? So you can see my web page here. It's long, but it ain't super long. But if I wanted to get a picture of the whole page, I can just choose go full page, and it captures the whole screen all at once. I can download that image as a PDF or as a PNG file. I can even edit the image if I want to. I can zoom in on it if I want to, zoom back out. So that is Go Full Page, a full page capture. Super fun extension. Keep Awake. Well, that doesn't do anything while I'm here on my PC, but I wanted to make sure that I showed you that I have this extension installed. What this does, if you're a Chromebook user, you will know that there's no way to keep your Chromebook on. But it is with Keep Awake. You can choose this and just have it on, or system will stay awake, or will actually follow the settings and fall asleep on its own. I have a Chromebook here that I'm going to show you in a moment that I turned on half an hour ago, and it stays on. It does not go to sleep on me. Keep Awake. Reminder, this makes sure it stays on all the time. So if somebody uses this, they're going to notice their battery is going to go down a little bit faster because the sleep isn't going to come back on, but it is a great extension. One last extension I want to show you is something called DraftBack, and it's not something you will see anywhere here. What DraftBack does is it takes a Google document and it makes a movie out of it. And only teachers need to have this movie or this extension on their device. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a little demonstration of it here. So what happens is you have a Google Doc, and it will make a movie out of it. So you're going to see a Google Doc here that I started back in October, and then you can just choose to play it back. And you can see how the text got added to the document. Why is this important? Like I said, only teachers need to have this. Students don't need to have it. But if you were watching a document being created, and you saw a big chunk of text all of a sudden come in all at once, is that a little fishy that maybe we copied and pasted some text here, that we might have some issues with stealing content from a web page or somebody else's document? Now, yes, you could have brought it in from another document on your own, but it just shows that in here. Now I'm letting this video play out because you can just see how the process of the movie of the document came. It is showing how, when, time, down to the second when I edit that. And then when you get done with when the document gets done playing back for you, there's also something called document graphs and statistics. That's going to pop up and show you in one moment. Why this is cool, as you can see the timeline of activity here, when the changes were made, by who, how long they spent on the document, and how many revisions that they made. So DraftBack, a very great extension to have to kind of show you the process of a Google Doc. All right, so now let's talk about the Chromebook. I might go over just by a few minutes today, that's all right, but I want to show you a few things on there. I'm going to go ahead and switch to my dot cam to show you my Chromebook, and we are first going to talk about, sorry about that, we're going to talk about the shelf. So you can see on my Chromebook here that I have logged in, we're going to talk about the shelf. The shelf is right here at the bottom. On the shelf, you can choose to show or always hide the shelf. So I like it sometimes to auto hide so that when you're using it, it actually kind of tucks away. That's kind of like a thing that happens on Mac. So that's kind of an interesting thing to do. You can pin web apps here or Android apps as well, so you can pin those to your dot so you don't have to go into the launcher and search them. So that's a really great thing to do. On the slide deck that you're going to get here, I talked about Chrome Explain, so I didn't go over all this, but I just wanted to make sure that you had it in your hands. And talking about trackpad gestures. Now your trackpad, it can do a lot for you, all right? So on your trackpad, you have different gestures. You can actually do different things with different fingers, and we're always going to talk about the good finger here, all right? So you have your basic one finger, all right? So built into the trackpad is the upper area is like a tap. The bottom area is where you can actually click it like a mouse, all right? So that's, we can move it, we can move the pointer, we can tap, or we can click down here. 2 fingers on a trackpad, okay, 2 fingers. That is a right click, or what we call a secondary click. That helps you to scroll vertically, okay, and horizontally. You can also swipe for navigation. So you could just swipe across that and go back and forward on a web page. 3 fingers on a trackpad is something called a middle click. I'm going to tell you, I haven't used middle click a lot, but I'm going to start to use middle click. Because not only can you use, what does middle click do? If you middle click on a tab, it closes the tab instantly without having to choose right click and close or choose the X. If you do 3 fingers in the open area on Chrome, it opens a brand new tab. If you do 3 finger tap on a bookmarks folder, it opens all the bookmarks you have in that folder by using that 3 finger tap. And then you can also enable auto scroll. What does that mean? So I'm just going to demonstrate what auto scroll looks like here. I'm going to do a middle click on my mouse, and notice how that changed there. And what that does is it does an auto scroll, and I don't really have a long enough web page for this to do that, but it kind of just goes really fast from top to bottom. That's what auto scroll is. And then you can just do that middle click, which is 3 fingers, on your Chromebook. Also on a Chromebook, just like on a tablet or your iPhone or Android phone, you could do pinch and zoom with your 2 fingers. And sometimes you like to teach the students about the 2 fingers and 2 hands doing a click and drag. So you can hold down like a left click down at the bottom and then be able to drag with that other finger. What I have made for you here is some trackpad gestures that you can help to learn and remember about what you can do on your trackpad. Also on the Chromebook, some things that I really like are keyboard shortcuts. And now these keyboard shortcuts can actually work on, a lot of them can actually work on your PC as well. Those in the left hand column here can work on your PC. Some Chromebook specific ones here, we're talking about splitting the screen and then taking a screenshot and the new screen recorder that just got built into Chrome 89 and how you can do those keyboard shortcuts. This by no means is a complete list of keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts, there's a ton of them. These are some of my favorites that I use all the time that help me on not only my productivity when I'm on my PC or my Mac, but when I'm on my Chromebook as well. I want to talk about some accessibility things on the Chromebook. Oops. So accessibility on a Chromebook, there's some really neat things that I've kind of figured to me that accessibility means good for everyone. You know, some things are like really good for some, but most things are really good for everyone. And how do you get to the accessibility? Well, on the Chromebook, what you're going to do is you're going to go in the right-hand corner down by the time, and you're going to go into the settings of your Chromebook. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look on the left-hand side of the Chromebook here. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. And we are going to choose Advanced and scroll way down and it says Accessibility. Now you can opt to always show the accessibility options in the main menu if you want to. But you don't have to. One of the main things that I want to show you that is really cool, okay, because there's a lot of really neat things, but things that really can help a lot of people really easy is show large mouse cursor. Now, this is really pretty hard to see, and I know I'm using my dot cam here, so it's probably really hard to see. But if I turn on show large mouse cursor, whoa, major improvement. Now you can adjust the size of that cursor as well, but you can keep it nice and big. Really helpful, especially if you're doing screencasts, to be able to show where your cursor is at to your students. Not only can you adjust that cursor size, but you can change the cursor color. So instead of having just that plain old black cursor, Let's have a green cursor for the day, especially because it's St. Patrick's Day, and you can choose to change that. That green doesn't show up very well on there. Let me choose red. Oh yeah, very, very cool. Now there's tons and tons and tons of accessibility things. I highly recommend that you go through these. I gave a link to you, and on our wrap up you'll get this as well, that you'll have some talking about the accessibility, all the different things that you can enable on your Chromebook. Last thing that I want to show you on your Chromebook is the night light. The night light is a really awesome thing that's built into the Chromebook that can help you when you're visually having to look at your Chromebook for a lot of time. So if I'm looking at my Chromebook here, and let me make it really bright, okay, it is, and I go into my corner by the time, and I turn the night light on, what has happened, and it's a little bit hard to see, but actually you can see the change, that it takes away that really, really blue, white, bright light, and it makes it so much easier to look at your screen. You can also schedule this. Now, I do have this like scheduled on my iPhone. So every night at 8 o'clock, this kind of amber tone comes over my iPhone, so it's a little bit easier on my eyes. And then it goes back to the regular white screen at 7 a.m. in the morning. You can do the same thing here on the Chromebook, is schedule it every day so it automatically does that. Now looking at my clock, it is a 12:31. I have really whipped through a whole bunch of things, but I'm so glad that you could join me here today. Remember, you're going to get this recording so that you can watch it over again, and please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Also, the resources of everything that I talked about are going to be here on my website, and you can see I have it started already. That has this session slide deck, has links to every extension I talked about, and all of it talks about Google Chrome accessibility, and you're going to get the YouTube link to this video as well. I hope you have enjoyed today's session about Google Chrome and Chromebooks. You have a wonderful day.